Atlanta, live from K.L.P Studios. Shish. Ever wonder what went down behind the scenes of our top stories?
Say what?
Then tune into What Had Happened Was, the only radio station that takes you straight to the source. From coast to coast, tune in now as we dive deep into the stories, the drama, and the moments that shape the culture with
The swanky one, new K.L.P.
and
With your girl, Evelyn Letitia.
live, Swanky 93.3 and the Heat 94.6 radio stations, or wherever you get your podcasts from.
Wait a minute now. Hey.
Woo! Yo!
What had happened was,
Hey.
what had happened was,
Okay, DJ.
You hear it?
DJ.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
Hey.
Yeah, yo.
what had happened was, what had happened was,
Hey.
what had happened was,
What happened was,
what had
y'all.
happened was,
Ha, ha, yo.
Hey.
Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. That was so much fun.
It was.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Let me tell you, I know. Because a lot of people been asking, hey, E, Kennedy, where y'all at?
What y'all doing?
What y'all doing?
What
Y'all
happened
skipped last
was-
week.
what happened
We
was-
apologize. You guys got to understand something, you know. Me being a movie director and filming things out on set, an artist too. You heard my new
Yes.
album?
Oh,
Soft Guy
yes.
Season is out. We've been working.
Soft
Evelyn,
guy season.
she's
Hashtag
been-
that.
Hashtag it, please. Evelyn's been working, filming.
Yes.
You know, she filming not only one but two feature films.
Just
so.
did my second one like 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago. No, a week ago. It was
About a
that.
week?
Yeah.
So-
About a week ago.
Y'all gotta have some patience with us. You know, we busy, but we're back here into
Yeah.
the studio again. This is What Happened Was podcast.
what had happened was,
Y'all like that tag, don't y'all?
Yeah.
That's that's all Evelyn.
Y'all heard me with a little intro, like,
Yeah, that's
get
all
my little
I
DJ on. Y'all like that?
Yes.
I know you would.
Yes.
Stop it.
I'm one of the hosts, grateful, Holly favorite, healthy, a little stiff, a little sore, because I think I pulled some the other day. But it's okay, we here. Your podcast host, Kennedy Lucas here, y'all.
Yeah.
And then to my right, the wonderful, the talented,
You better tell them.
the lovely, the broadcast journalist, the producer, and my better half of the podcast, Evelyn Letitia's here.
What's up, y'all? Good to be back in the studio with y'all. We got some stuff for y'all today.
Yes. So I want to say thank you again for coming into the studio, doing what we do best.
You know what we do?
And it feels good. It feels good.
It feels good.
We try to give you guys the best of the shows and kind of get the shows out there. So we do have an announcement. Although you get to see the shows live and streaming on any platform you get your podcast from, but we've made the executive decision to also bring the show back to Instagram.
Yeah.
Full show is going to be on Instagram. You get to see it live first, and then after that, it's going to be archived to our post on our Instagram. Again, that's WHHW Radio 1, by the way. Follow us on Instagram so you guys don't miss out on the show. Just in case if you couldn't get to the show on your streaming platforms, but you're scrolling on Instagram, you guys get to see us lovelies on Instagram. So.
And people have been asking, like, how can we interact with y'all more?
Yes.
So now we have a way for you to actually send in questions or comments or things, give us feedback. Tell them about how they can do that.
Yeah, so we're partnered. K.L.P Entertainment is partnered up with SpeakPipe. Now, SpeakPipe is fairly new out there, but a lot of podcasters are doing it. To where you can call into the link. We'll have it in our bio on Instagram. We'll have it in the link description with the video of the podcast. But you go to that link, and then you get to put your name, and then you just get to record your voice using your phone. You don't have to have fancy equipment to record. You can record like you're talking to somebody over the phone. We get those messages, and then we get to give shout outs and answer your questions on the show. I do encourage people, if you have any type of social media, whether as long as it's clean social media.
Yeah.
Like we can't promote something
Y'all
that might
don't
be.
send us no mess.
No mess. We can't promote that. But if you got an Instagram or a business that you want to shout out, again, we want to give you that shout out here on the platform.
Yeah,
so.
and you can hear your voice on our radio podcast show. So let it be known. You know.
You don't want to miss out on that.
Yeah.
So that's the way to reach out to us and get more connected with us as well. We're just trying to continue the engagement when it comes to our fan base, because we do have a great fan base.
Yeah.
I would say
Y'all are amazing.
Instagram's been popping and everybody's been loving it. And then I've had some friends that are close friends of mine that I haven't seen in a minute. We've been busy. They say, "You got another podcast?"
Yeah.
Like, it's like, who's your host? They say, "Who's your co-host?" Like, she's not my she's the other co-host. There's no co-host.
Baby.
And she's like, "Yeah, that's Evelyn. That's our new show." So, they were like, "Wow," and I was like, "Yeah, Instagram." So Instagram is very, very powerful. So we thank y'all in advance for just following us on social media. You can follow our Instagram pages individually, but we encourage you guys to follow the radio's podcast Instagram again, WHH Radio 1 again. We love y'all. Excuse me, WHHW.
I about to say, something ain't sound right.
Something didn't sound right. WHHW Radio 1. You're like, I don't know about
something ain't sound right.
So let's get into the conversations as well. We've got a lot to talk about here on the show as well. And Evelyn, you've been following the NAACP.
Yes. So, baby, I'm gonna get your acronyms together. The NCAA.
It's I'm sorry.
You thinking the NCAA?
That's what I was thinking.
NAACP.
I don't know why, because I guess it was a movie about it that I watched. I think it was like No Mercy with Jamie Foxx.
Probably, but
I watched that movie the other day, and
that's the NAACP. We're talking about the NCAA because what
had happened was
we are talking about the NCAA National Championship, the women's and the men's team. We're gonna start with the men's. Now, did you watch the men's game?
Very little.
I didn't watch it. I ended up seeing some clips and stuff. Got a little busy. But the NCAA men's national championship game came down to Florida and Houston, with Florida capturing their third national championship since their first one in 2007, and they rallied past Houston 65-63. Right. So shout out to them. Okay. I like that enthusiasm. Yeah. Shout out to them. 65-63. Both teams came. They bought hard. Houston definitely to make it past the Final Four. I think they edged out over Duke to be in the national championship game. That was a close game. 65-63. I'm gonna tell y'all. As a basketball player, and my team, we used to be dominating people by like 20 and 30 points, right? On a rare occasion, when I say rare, I'm talking like maybe once every other season, we may have lost by more than 15 points, right? 20 points. But most times, we were a large margin winning team. But anytime there was a close loss, like by 2 points, that's gonna get hurt worse.
Yes.
Because in your mind, you always think like, dang, if we had just 10 more seconds. 5 seconds. Yes. Like, we got some shooters on our team. Yeah. All we need is somebody to get on the 3-point, tie it up, or either win it, foul, whatever. So when it's close like that, I was like, that's a tough loss. That's a tough beat. Tough loss. But shout out to both teams for that. Both teams played their hearts out. Shout out to them. Yeah. But moving on, let's talk about the women's team. The women's side. Okay. Yes. So on the women's side, we had South Carolina, USC out of South Carolina Gamecocks versus UConn, the Huskies. Yes. UConn goes on.
Yeah, I did see memes about that. The coach getting
Coach Don Staley.
Yes, so upset.
I watched this game here, and I'm gonna tell you again, as an athlete, I was like, ooh. And Don even said in her post interview, she was like, what happened? She said they beat our ass. I mean, one thing I like about Dawn, she don't really sugarcoat it. She, speaks at face value. Yeah. To let you know what's happening. But UConn beat out South Carolina, and that final score was 82-59. So she wasn't exaggerating when she said beat our ass. Yeah. Like, she was not exaggerating it. That was a tough loss. It's not to say that South Carolina girls are, trash or anything like that. They're an amazing team, but UConn came out there with a mission.
With UConn, even the last few years, UConn has been in news
Well,
and the sports shows too, as of late that I've seen, and to see them play tremendously well. Because I remember, again, I try to follow the NCAA fairly closely with the sports, but basketball, I'm just starting to kind of get back into, because I've been into it and then I kind of fell off because I'm watching other things and getting back into it. But I want to say UConn, a few years back, if I'm not mistaken, they're on every sports show and they've got some heavy hitters, some heavy ballers, I mean. So to see them come out and be a part of this championship is incredible. But I kind of have to say, okay, UConn's pretty good for their team. So I'm not surprised, but it's kind of, I'm not surprised, but it's just kind of like a nice feeling to see, like, hey, I've watched this team for years, so I know they're gonna come off being the better team. Right.
And people act like this is just South Carolina laid down. I'm like, you gotta understand, you can't underestimate a team that's coming back to get their revenge.
Yeah.
Right? People forget that in 2022 for that national championship game, that was also UConn versus South Carolina.
Probably what I'm thinking
right?
about, yeah.
And South Carolina beat them 64-49 for that championship. So it's like, imagine you losing and you trying to fight your way back for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
And then you finally get there. I'm going all out. We didn't fight for 3 years to get back to this national stage to lose. So UConn came in with a fight in them that I just don't think that South Carolina was just ready for. It's not to say that they weren't good, but UConn had a fire burning in them like no other. But people forget that South Carolina beat them 64-49 back in 2022.
Yep.
So, like, if you beat me and, UConn has this legacy, like you said, of winning with Coach Gino, I'm coming back for you, right?
Yeah.
But after the game, we got some words from, Dawn Staley, where she was asked, about her younger girls. Because, of course, when you're a senior, you don't want your seniors to go out like this because you want them to have that one last, so they won't get another chance.
Trust me, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
They won't get another chance. But her undergrad and people who are returning will. And so this one was asked of Dawn Staley.
The flip side of that is the younger players, the ones who will be back next year. What do you want and hope that they take away from the experience in today?
What had happened
I hope
was
they're crying. I hope they're boohooing. Because from crying and having emotion about losing makes you work a little bit harder in the off season. Makes you look at it and really analyze, what the separation is from their program and our program, and how we close the gap with that. They're very talented, and I think they got a great experience of playing at this level that I hope they have a desire to get back here and do all the things that it takes to play in a national championship game, and then deliver the blows that's needed to win.
So that's what she had to say about her younger folks, which I agree. I will say, again, as someone who played basketball, and I had moved up to varsity like the end of my 8th grade year. And so I played varsity for 5 years.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and so every year, our hump for us was we were always region champs. We made region champs every year, right? And then we would make it to the lower state championship game, which is the one right before the championship game, and we would lose. Like, our hump was that lower state game. But every time we would lose as an undergrad, you were like, okay, we coming back next year. We gonna do this next year. Like, so it does burn this kind of fire in you that we're coming back next year. We winning this. We winning this. Like, you had that every year as an undergrad. Once you get a senior though, and you about to graduate, like, dang, we just lost.
Yeah.
It ain't no coming back next year.
I've known, because back in high school and college, I've never played, except for baseball, but we won't get there.
You said that's an archive.
Yeah, that's an archive somewhere. But especially in college, I have quite a few friends of mine. Shout out to Alyssa, because she told me we had this conversation. Shout out to you. She plays softball, and like to see that they almost went to a World Series, and the fact that they didn't really make it through the World Series, and then she would tell me, "Dang, like Kennedy, I was in this my senior year, so it's different once you graduate, unless you go pro, and that's every one person out of 10,000 people that go pro, right? That's pretty much it. And then you got to get a regular job, and then you got to grow up a little bit. So I kind of feel for the ladies who they didn't make it that final hoorah to tell the story of them being in their senior year, and now what do they do next? Yeah. Because again, these ladies, as talented as they are, hate to say it, it's 1 every 10,000 chance you'll go to the WNBA. It's a very tough market to get into. So I feel for people who, like you say, have that fire their senior, like, hey, we got to do it because it's my senior year. I've got to make this happen.
We got to make this happen.
But then when they don't, it's like, dang, what do we do?
Yeah. But, and speaking of Dawn Staley she's an amazing coach. Yeah. Like, she, one of my homegirls that, she was 3 years older than me. Like I said, I played varsity with her for 2 of those years while I was in school. And when she graduated high school, she went to play at USC. And so we would go and sometimes, watch her play, whatever like that. We got a whole team photo of one of our games that we went to. She was there like I think Dawn Staley came in like right on the tail end of her graduating. So wow. I don't think she played for Dawn. It was like that close, right? But yes, we had been there. But Dawn Staley's a great coach. So is Gino, Coach Gino. As of now, he has a 1,250 to 165 record in his career at UConn. Wow. Which began in 1985. To let y'all know how long he's been coaching at UConn. Whoa. I was born in 87.
I wouldn't
this man been there 2 years before I came into the world. Yeah. You weren't even a twinkle yet.
Yeah, nope.
Like, neither one of us was born. That's how long he's been at UConn. And since then, he's led the Husky to NCAA championships in 2000, 2002, 3, 4, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 2025. And so, how many did you count? Were you counting?
I wouldn't count.
Okay, look, you're supposed to be on it.
Yeah.
So we counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different championships. And I'm just like, ooh, that's a lot. That's a great legacy. And so the question does become, because people are like, oh, well, he had to win this because some months back there was talks of him possibly retiring, and he had to win this. Which I thought at one point it was saying that he won 12, but I only counted 11 there. Yeah, that's my count off, but that's what I count. I count 11.
So what you say?
Look, make sure, because Kenny didn't even try to help me. Just left me out here to dry. That 8, 9, 10. I count.
I ain't got my glasses on either, so I'm a little blind.
I got 11. But there was rumors about him possibly wanting to retire and stuff like that. So people said, oh, they had to come out and prove something because he probably is going to be retiring. But he was asked about that. Yeah. On ESPN, they had this to say.
What had happened was
40 years at UConn, you have 12 titles, 1,250 wins. What will determine how much longer you're going to do this?
How I feel when I wake up tomorrow morning.
Fair.
I think every day is a new day. And sometimes we talk about, and you hear people talk about, oh, he's not leaving until Paige leaves. Oh, he's not leaving until AZ leaves. Oh, he's not leaving until Sarah leaves. But if we're doing our job right, there's always one of those or two of those or however many that are there that you go, well, how can you leave them? And at some point, it's going to be, I wish I could stay longer, but I'm just not good enough to coach this team anymore, and they deserve better. And when that time comes, I hope I have the sense to step away and leave it in the hands of someone who's better equipped at that time to do it.
So I love the fact that he made that. Because how many times do we see coaches, they having these losing seasons, the recruitment is now subpar, the players look miserable, the staff looks miserable, and they're just staying there because they continue to get in check. I love the fact that he put the program and the girls ahead of his own ego and said, when it's no longer, good for me to be good for them, I will step away. Yeah. Because we see so many coaches just continue to just hold on, just holding on, and you in the way at that point. Like, move around.
I remember I've seen it. I ain't gonna call their names up, but I've seen coaches come and go because they had a losing season and it just not be right, and they be bouncing all these coaches around. So I get it. I always wonder how much coaches get paid. Oh, I'm sure he getting paid. Both coaches, really, but
and when you got that many championships under your belt, you definitely, definitely are getting paid.
You got a resume. So I don't know. I just always wonder that. I always wondered that the pay, how that pay works for coaches. because
I sure in the hell like to find that.
I love to find out too. I'll be a coach.
Put millions in my pocket each year. You know what's crazy is people have asked me about that because of my perspective, especially when it comes to basketball. I love basketball. I've been playing basketball since I was like 5, 6, right? Mm-hmm. And so I've been playing for some years. And I remember my nephew now, my nephew Jax, who just turned 16 in February. Mm-hmm. I've been at his games, since he was playing rec and then the middle school ball and now high school ball that he's in. And so I would always give him feedback, or I'll be yelling at his team because it seems like a lot of the kids nowadays, everybody's going to these AAU camps, but the fundamentals aren't there. You're just playing in all these tournaments, but your fundamental skills aren't there. So I'm in the stands hollering, box out. Why y'all looking at the ball? Like my coach would have been on call time out back in the day, and all of us would have ran in the middle of the game, down and back,
Yeah, like, hold on.
And so my nephew would ask me, he's like, Auntie, you don't ever think about coaching? You should coach.
I think you should too.
and people tell me you should really coach, and I would love to coach a girls or boys basketball team. It's just timing for me. Everything I'm doing in the entertainment business now, I just don't have the time to dedicate to a team like that. Because you talk about practices and reviewing film and setting up plays and really developing. I think I could do that though. Come in as like a developmental coach, but like a head coach, I wouldn't have the time for that. Or somebody to come in and help with skills and things like that. I would love to do that.
Hey, GGC, y'all hear that? GGC, George Gwinnett College, because we're getting a basketball team.
Just letting y'all know, He got my information.
Yes.
Right. But you want to be able to develop them so when they get to a level like hopefully the WNBA or the NBA, like those skills are there. Mm-hmm. But speaking of the NBA, we got something. This I found so funny. So they did this reel of Shannon Sharp.
Oh, Uncle Shannon.
Shannon was talking about the Lakers, and he was doing what I like to call a Dr. Seuss rhyme, and he would always end in like, Lakers in 5. So we're going to hear what Shannon has to say. This is hilarious.
First court, child support, Lou Dort. I'll let everybody know what it is. It's in 5. It's on. Even an alley cat will find a whole chicken in the trash every once in a while. He ain't gonna always eat scraps. Sometimes even the best chef might burn something.
Steve ain't like, what are you talking about?
Lakers in 5. OKC, KLC, UFC, Lakers in 5. FGA, PGA, USA.
Lakers in 5.
The Thunder, a Boost Mobile bundle, WWE Royal Rumble. Lakers in 5.
What had happened was,
so this was pretty hilarious, right? And so people in the comment section, I must have spent like maybe a whole hour just reading these comments and laughing. So I'm gonna read some of these, right? I'm gonna try to do my best Shannon Sharp impersonation, right? James Timothy said, "Wabanyama, como te llama, slap your mama." Lakers in 5. Edward King Law Anderson said, ABC, BBD, East Coast family. Lakers in 5. Eddie James said, giant snake, birthday cake, large fries, chocolate shake. Lakers in 6. Rod Ashby said,
Jesus.
Rod Ashby said,
God.
Houston Rockets, empty pockets, wrench and socket. Lakers in 5.
Lakers in 5.
These went on and on and on and on. I was like, oh my gosh, these are hilarious. But like Shannon Sharp, he is one of the best sound bites that you could actually have.
Yeah.
Isbo said, Henderson scoop, I got a poop. There's a snake in my boot. Lakers in 5.
Oh, Uncle Shannon, we love you, man. We love you.
Oh,
we love you.
So
Jesus.
That was hilarious.
That's funny.
Speaking of, but the Lakers right now,
Yes.
the Lakers, oh my gosh, that trade with Luka has proven to be very fruitful for the Lakers. Like they are pulling out some big stops for all that's going on. Luka Doncic was traded to the Lakers for Anthony Davis, in which some people will say will go down as one of the worst trades in NBA history. And so recently, the Lakers, they played the Mavs, right, at home, and it was Luka coming back to them to play. Now, mind you, Luka had been with them for about 5.5 seasons with the Mavericks, and he still had 2 seasons left on his contract. This is according to ESPN, on his contract when he was traded to the Lakers. When he came back, they played a video, basically of his time there and everything, and Luka was visibly upset on the sideline. He was tearful and crying and everything. And I'm like, I know he's overwhelmed, but some people look at, oh, he's so sad because he's back, he miss it. Baby, how y'all know that's why he was crying? Like, imagine you basically getting fired and traded, with no real talk to you. You just get traded, and then you come back, and they're going to throw up some video of your time there. I would be mad. My tears would be, I'm trying not to crash out on y'all right now.
Yeah, cuss y'all out.
Y'all really got me on this Megatron. Yeah. Like, I'm supposed to be feeling good about being back here, and y'all traded me.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be laughing I'll be crying for a whole different reason. Like, I'm trying not to crash out and throw one of these water balls up there at Megatron.
Yeah, you're like...
That's what I'm trying not to do. And Luka, I don't know if that video inspired him or pissed him off, but Luka went out there and scored 45 points.
Yeah, buckets.
45 points. And like I said, this is going to go down probably, most people assume it will go down as one of the worst trades in NBA history. One of the owners, Nico Harrison, the fans let him know just how much they hate him. He was in the building. They got him standing in the Coliseum, in the breezeway, and this is what the fans were. This is what they were chanting. And for those who don't understand what they're saying "Fire Nico."
Oh man.
Now, while this is going on, they captured this video footage of the owner standing there during the game. But there's also another angle that shows Mark Cuban, who used to be a majority owner.
Yeah, I was gonna be getting ready to say. I wonder how Mark Cuban feels.
Oh my gosh, the video footage of him, he's like.
Yeah.
And he even came out later to say that trade would have never happened had he still been a majority owner.
I think so too.
Like, one thing you could say about the Mavs, when Mark Cuban was there, great business decisions were being made. And, right now they're kind of like a laughing stock, like, ha, y'all really traded a generational talent for Anthony Davis, who Anthony Davis is still a beast, but that's not mince word. He's aging. He tends to have more injuries and things going on, and you traded for him for a generational talent. Luka's out here balling.
He's young. He's still young looking too. So like he can still get it up, get the buckets. So
he's still getting it. And now him and LeBron James, like this dynamic duo. LeBron already is an amazing ball player, but people forget how amazing he is at being a playmaker too.
Yes.
Getting the ball to his people and having people who can really connect and make things happen is great. And him and Luka have been in it,
Yes,
LeBron even in that game showed up and just showed out as well. And we talked about LeBron some weeks back, the whole thing with him and Stephen A. Smith and the approach about his son Bronny. Well, Stephen A. stuck his foot in his mouth again. On an episode of First Take, let me say this. Not only did they ball out, the Lakers went on to beat the Mavs 112-97. So they was balling. But what had happened was... So Stephen A. Smith was on the first hour of First Take, and this was a few weeks back. He made comment about LeBron James, and this is where we talked about in our last episode about when he was making comments about Bronny and like you as a father. Remember, I kept saying it's one thing to keep it as basketball, but you came at him personally.
Right.
Here you go again, and you say, "Oh, well, LeBron wasn't at Kobe's memorial service." You say that, right?
Yeah.
Again, this seems personal.
It does seem personal.
Because not only did you say that, but you were absolutely wrong. So, like, fans and people began to come out and post, like, actual evidence that LeBron was there. Even when some of the people got up and talked, they were addressing LeBron and looking at him as they're talking to him. So, of course, Stephen A. had to come back and kind of eat his words and apologize for, making those comments. To which he said, my apologies and clarification. I misspoke in hour number 1 of First Take today when I intimated that LeBron did not attend Kobe Bryant's memorial. I corrected myself in hour number 2 when I acknowledged he was indeed in attendance. My mistake. Should not have even broached that subject. It was not my main point. I retract nothing else. And he put nothing in caps. I retract nothing else I said. Have a nice day. Now, the most important part that he said in there, he said, my mistake. Should not have even broached that subject. It was not my main point. That in itself is why people keep saying, myself included, you are making this personal and not about basketball.
Yeah.
You brought up an unrelated point that doesn't even make your point or even is even nowhere close to being aligned with it instead of keeping it basketball. Yeah. And then to use Kobe's memorial as a basis for that, it's like, we get it. You hate LeBron. Yeah. At this point, sir, I would respect you more if you just say, I hate the man.
I think it just added fuel from the couple weeks back when Stephen A. was at a Lakers game and then they had exchanged words. I think it kind of, it may stem from more from before that, but I think that just added more to the pot.
And again, LeBron has never challenged him in that way until he made it personal about his fatherhood. Yeah. Saying, as a father.
Yeah, we remember that.
You know.
Yeah. Remember that.
LeBron has been, this boy, I say boy because when he came out, he was still a young man. He's a few years older than me. But he came straight out of high school. So from that point now until his adult manhood, he's always had people talking about him, always coming at him. Yeah. Like, he don't always respond to people. And even with Stephen A. Smith has been coming at LeBron for years. But it's always been about his basketball playing and that. So LeBron has never had to approach him. But then you made it personal. And now you continuously try to make it personal. And it's like, at this point, bro, I would respect you more if you say, I don't like him or I hate him or, something like that. But this.
Would he ever say that on, like, ESPN First Take? Like, hey, I just don't like LeBron.
At this point, baby, you can say.
Okay. There's a lot of people that don't like a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I mean, as long as you don't threaten them, you can say what you feel. Hey, I don't like this person. You don't like this person. So I wonder. I just think I get Stephen A. Smith being the journalist that he is. I get it. I get that part. And he's doing his job, and his job is to be a journalist. I get it. But
absolutely.
I also got to think, now I'm starting to see where other people are saying, like, don't make this personal on national TV, right? It is, to me, it's despicable if you bring up, hey, he wasn't even there at Kobe Bryant's memorial. How the way Kobe Bryant died was very, very sad. It was sad moment, but like LeBron James was there. He's not gonna miss out on that. And now it's just like you got to retract your words, and now you're getting a lot of your fans that may think a little different now and say, I don't think I want to rock with Stephen A. Smith that much anymore because he's getting a little bit too dangerous. He's talking about one of my favorite players.
And you had to reach way back. Kobe passed away in 2020.
Yeah.
Right? So you're reaching 5 years back.
5 years back.
To bring something that has nothing to do with the point you're trying to make.
Yeah.
And then you're wrong.
Yeah. See, that to me, being a journalist that he is, you kind of have to be careful. Because like you said, it was 5 years ago. Not to say that we're forgetting Kobe Bryant, rest his peace, but 5 years ago. And it's not relevant to the previous game on Wednesday.
Nothing at all.
You gotta be careful when it comes down to it. But Stephen A. Smith, he's kind of powerful too. You think he will run for president?
I hope not. Man, don't waste your money.
I mean,
sir,
at this point, I vote for him.
I know you would.
I mean, hey,
I know you would. That's one of his he loves some Stephen A. Smith. Man. I know you would.
And despite the danger that he's stepping in, honestly, and I say Stephen A. Smith because I said it, Stephen A. Smith is sort of powerful. LeBron James is sort of powerful to it. In my book, in my opinion. He got the money, the accolades, the power. I think he's going to own more of the Lakers as he get a little bit older. You seen that new Barbie doll?
Yeah.
I want one. I want one, right? Just to say I have one. I'm sure that's going to be like $200. But
it'll be a collectible, so it'll be worth something.
It will be worth some money. I would buy one of those.
And the second that he retires, the worth of that goes up even more.
Yes. I think they should. What if they made the doll of Stephen A. Smith?
I know you're going to buy it.
I would buy it too.
You're going to buy it.
I would buy it too. But my point I'm making is power does go a long way. Because it's been said on news sites that Stephen A. Smith is thinking about running for president in 2028. So at this point, you know who we know who's in office now. So.
Look, first of all, Drop down in our comments.
Yes.
You know, give us your feedback. If Stephen A. Smith ran for the presidency, would you vote for him? We want to know. We want to know.
I would.
Yeah, I want to read these comments.
Yeah, I really.
Keenan is gonna be the first one before the doors open. He could be the first one. The poll workers gonna unlock it. Sir, what time did you get here? Well, I got here yesterday. I was ready. I was waiting on this.
I'm voting.
But you know what? Like you said, me personally, he can vote. I mean, he can run. I don't think he's gonna win, but there's nothing now. The presidency used to be this thing that, oh my gosh, this is the highest office in our land. This is a very prestigious office to go to, and now it's just like, okay. And at one point, anybody, couldn't just run for president. There were certain criteria you had to meet. It's definitely become a popularity and money thing now. Who can buy their way to the presidency?
Yes.
Right? Versus who's the best person fit to run this country. That's what it's become about. So he definitely can run. He definitely would have people vote for him. Cause that's what we at. It ain't like he can't get in there and not say what he want to say, because we got a whole template of somebody in the White House right now just saying and doing whatever.
And let me tell you, it's kind of scary. Kind of scary. Let me tell you what happened, right?
Mm-hmm. What had happened was...
We was fighting over it.
Yeah, we were fighting for the button. Let me tell you what happened. Anybody who follows Instagram, YouTube, and listen to my other shows previous this week, we've been dabbling into these tariffs. This is kind of scary, because we get a lot of things from a lot of countries, right?
Yeah.
Now, from a gaming perspective, I was upset because this week was supposed to be the week where we would order the Nintendo Switch 2, right?
Okay.
Obviously, it's been delayed within the pre-orders, and at first we didn't know what was going to happen because of the tariffs. And Nintendo, the game console is $500. They're having games for about $80 now. So a lot of people are very skeptical about buying the system. I still was going to put in my pre-order to review for the channel, but to see the amount of tariffs, and let me tell y'all, let's break it down what tariffs mean.
Yeah, break it down too.
Because I see a lot of TikTok videos, Facebook, and even people in general, they don't know what tariffs are. So if you guys, in this little history lesson, when countries make that sort of product that they want to distribute to the U.S., they have to propose and pay a tax on getting that imported to the U.S., right? That's primarily what tariffs is. So they're increasing the tariff rates for America for that individual country to bring those goods and services to the U.S. And if the tariffs or taxes on these items are too high, then they got to increase their product. So let's just say, thank God Nintendo didn't announce this, but Nintendo says, hey, this game costs us $500. Nintendo's a Japanese company, but they're moving some of their products to Vietnam. Same thing with iPhones too. Let's say the Nintendo Switch is $500. You've got X amount of percentage that Trump wants to do higher up in tariffs. Let's just say an astronomical number. Let's just say 70%. That's not true, but I'm just for an example, 70%. So now they got to say, okay, the console's $500, but with that 70% out the gate, that might be $800 that the consumers have to pay. That's what tariffs is. And it's just like when you ask, what do you think tariffs is? And then no one can give a straight answer. And that's why it's kind of scary for me, because I think here in America, we do get a lot of our technology or clothing, everything from these different countries. And now there are tariffs on here. It's scary because now we got to pay more for this stuff. Things are already high, Evelyn.
Very.
Rent, groceries, gas.
And it just goes to show, like, people voted against their own interests because they didn't even understand what tariffs were.
Yeah.
It's like, we're going to make the countries pay. They're going to pay. I'm like, but you're the consumer. It's going to blow back on you.
Yes.
And I've even seen people in the comment section saying things like, well, we'll just buy American. We'll buy American. That in itself, when people make those comments, lets me know just how ignorant you are to the products that are being made and that you actually buy. The majority of products you pick up, if you look on the bottom somewhere, a tag, something, it's going to say made in China. right? And even if the whole apparatus that you're holding is not made in China, I guarantee you the parts are, or at least from different countries all over the world. If America was that big on our own production of things and materials, we wouldn't be trading so much with other countries. So to say, oh, we'll just quit buying from those other countries and make our own, how is that going to work? It'd be one thing if we were already making a lot of American-owned things and could survive on only our supply. Then we could just, we'll cut y'all off, right? Then you would have more footing in a trade war because most of your products are made in-house. But when the majority of your products are made by other countries, you can't really double down and say, oh, we're just going to live off American things. Because I guarantee you, if that was the case, you would go into some of these stores, Walmart, Target, any of these grocery stores, the shelves will be almost bare because so much of our goods and supplies are not made in the U.S. And that shows just how ignorant people are to this whole process. And you voted against your interests.
Yeah. It is scary, 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 scary times that we live in. And it's just, it is crazy because there's news sources are coming. This one came from World Star. And they say on World Star that Trump is proposing China to raise tariffs by 125% as U.S. Duties reaches 145%.
It's crazy.
That is crazy. Now, there is, by the time of the recording, there is an update because Trump did propose a 90-day pause on tariffs about a few days ago. So maybe we might see some relief.
Child, he be pump faking, and I be like,
you know,
at this point, I honestly feel like he wake up in the morning like, looking cute, feeling demure, might just roll back 90 days and hold it. Yeah. Like, I just feel like at this point, he just wake up and just, whatever he feeling that day, I'm just going to roll back the tariffs. I'm going to put a hold on it. And then we're going to up the prices on China. That's what I feel like he does every day. And we just sit up here like, what is you doing? What are you doing? And it's crazy to me the amount of people who vote and continue to support him saying he's such a great businessman. Well, he's had so many failed businesses, right? Now, mind you, the argument can be made that you try and you try again until you're successful. Yeah. The problem is he keep trying and he ain't successful. But yet people like he is such a great businessman. So on Instagram, user K4554 ADR4 underscore, she made a reel about all the different businesses that Trump has endured and tried that has failed over and over. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna play this for you.
Didn't take care of the airplane, so an airplane crashed, and then they went out of business after only 2 years.
Let me start it over.
Discontinued. Trump has many failed businesses. Here are just a few. Trump Ice bottled water, sold as the purest water from a secret spring, is from Vermont. Trump steaks ranged from $200 to $1,000. They were discontinued after 2 months. Trump Shuttle Airlines, Trump borrowed $250 million to buy an airline, but he didn't take care of the airplane, so an airplane crashed, and then they went out of business after only 2 years. Trump Vodka, discontinued, low sales, many lawsuits over unpaid bills. Trump Castle, bankrupt and rebranded as Trump Marina. Trump Marina, bankrupt and sold. Trump Plaza, bankrupt and demolished. Trump's World Fair, bankrupt and demolished. Trump Taj Mahal Casino, it was advertised as the 8th wonder of the world, bankrupt and sold. Trump University, scam thousands, many lawsuits and investigations. Trump Network, MLM that sold vitamins and health stuff. Trump Board Game with Milton Bradley, pulled from shelves because it didn't sell. He later tried to re-release it. It sold even less. Trump Mortgage LLC, financial services, lasted a year. GoTrump.com, travel site, lasted a year. Trump Fragrances, pulled from shelves due to low sales. Trump Home Furniture, pulled from shelves due to low sales. Trump Net, telephone communication company, ran out of money before it even opened, and soon to fail because they all do. Truth Social, brought to you by Trump Media. Ew. Trump.
So as you can see, there was a lot of them. Now this is the thing: how the hell do you bankrupt a casino?
I know.
the place where people are bringing money
into it
to make money, and the more people keep gambling, the more money comes. How you bankrupt a casino?
I mean, sounds like it can be done.
Clearly.
Can be done.
Clearly. And
Don't know how, but.
And right now, we're seeing the stock market, though, all kinds of deep dives. People have lost thousands upon thousands in their 401ks and other investments. Now, mind you, keep your eye on these billionaires and millionaires. Because a lot of them, right now, the stock market is so low, they're buying up a whole lot of stock because it's really cheap right now. And they say, oh, it's going to turn around, which most times it does. Like, it does turn around. So if it does turn around, they're going to be making a whole lot of profit, which leads people to ask the question, has all this been pre-planned? Are they purposely trying to drive the market down to buy up so that they can win big later? There's some questions to be had.
Big questions that we got to ask. Yeah, like I say, tariffs, look, we're in the 90-day hold, pause, but, I just think everybody, you better, it's a saying that I like to say, we said when we were kids, hide your kids, hide your wife.
Hide everybody, because they're raising terrorists up here.
It's happening, so it just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of scary. I do say to a lot of my gamers, don't fall for scalpers. There are websites where you can order the Switch 2, but they want $800 from this offsite. Be careful of scalpers. Don't overpay what you want to pay for this gaming console. But it's been a mess for Nintendo side. It's been a mess for us gamer communities, and now even gamers can't even enjoy life because politics has to play a thing into it now.
I still stand on what I said. I think Trump. I think he wakes up and literally be like, "Hey, what am I doing today?
Yes.
Feeling cute, feeling demure. I might just give an executive order.
You got to do that.
I might just roll back things and make it harder on the gaming community. They're gamers. They play games. I don't play games. If I was to play games, I'd be the biggest winner ever. Millions upon millions upon millions of gamers.
Oh, Jesus.
I would be him. Very demure.
Oh, Jesus. Ew. Ew.
Meanwhile, you know what's crazy is that people have been. There's a video I saw.
What had happened was.
There's a video I saw where they showed all this chaos. They showed the United States, like, basically, oh God, this presidency and this cabinet and these Republicans and people who are voting for all this, like, we're just like, it's destroying America. And it showed that, and then it continues. And the very next clip attached to it is black folks line dancing, where them fans at? And the caption said, one thing black people gonna do is dance in the middle of chaos.
I mean, that's kind of true.
You know what? It is true. But this is the thing. That has been our MO because we are not victims. We are survivors.
Yeah.
We have had to live in this country from decades upon decades, generation to generation, on trying to survive in a system that is not built for us, constantly tells us to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. And while we got both hands down here, pulling our bootstraps up, we're getting kicked in the face at the same time. Yeah. But somehow we still make it with our scraps all the way up here. And not only all the way up there, we double down on the businesses, the education. We make a way out of no way. A lot of our sayings in our community literally come from us surviving. Think about it. Yeah. When you hear your grandma or your aunties or your cousin, I'm trying to make $1 out of 15 cents.
Oh, I heard that before. Yeah.
Or joy comes in the morning.
Yeah.
Or we gonna make it. We all we got. These are things we've been living by, and we have been surviving. So yeah, we dance because all of this is not new for most black folks. We've been living in this country with this racist past that they're trying to erase so that they don't have to address it. We've been living with that and surviving it. What's happening, what we're seeing right now, the people who are in uproar and the people who decided, the majority of the people who decided to march across the nation on April 5th, those are mainly the majority whites who now you get to feel what black and brown people have been feeling all these years. You get to live in it, and the thing is, a lot of y'all, and I'm going to say y'all, not as collective, but a lot of y'all voted for Trump because you thought policies and stuff that he verbatim said he was going to do and he's doing.
Yeah.
You voted for Project 2025 that he said he knew nothing about, but verbatim is carrying out everything in it. You voted for him because you thought you would not be affected. Let's call it what it is. You thought it was only going to affect black and brown people. And now what's happening? You have a white majority who are losing their government jobs. You're losing your 401ks. Your businesses are going under. A lot of white farmers have lost a lot of their workers.
A lot of the workers
who was out there harvesting.
Yeah.
You thought that this would not affect you, and now it is. And because you've always been set up with a privilege for a country that said you're better than black and brown people who have been surviving with everything thrown at them, now you have to feel that and you're scrambling. Yeah. That's what's happening.
Yeah. It's the people losing their jobs for me, because I always go back to when folks are losing their jobs, they have kids, they have husbands and wives and responsibilities that now they can't really support, and now they're stressed.
Yeah.
You would be surprised at how many times if I go to the grocery store, because I live alone, I just take care of myself, right? And I see a young mom with 3 kids playing around, not, just asking for everything. And then I'm over here looking to see how much her grocery, $300 in groceries.
Yeah.
Because things are going up, and then she's stressed. She has to work, and she might have lost her job. She might have worked at a government job that, with this new administration, she might have just lost. And now she
let's
has
be
to
honest,
figure things out.
That's a lot of money. $300 like 15 years ago, you probably had a whole buggy and a half. $300 a day, you may walk out of there with like 3 or 4 bags. Yeah. That's it. Like, food is high.
Yes, it's high. Maybe some chicken, some milk, and some eggs, and possibly some bread, maybe, if you got a deal on cheese, But it's the job, people losing their jobs for me, because a lot of people are stressed. Not my close friends, because we're all employed, but my other friends who lost their jobs because of layoffs and government, because I've had a lot of friends who work for the government and they're gone, and they are stressed to the max. And I don't know. It's sad to see that we can't no longer, work a job, be sustainable, pay our bills, and still live the life that we meant to. I see a lot of my friends who work these jobs now. The pay ain't really there. They have to work every day, no days off, just to afford rent, Yeah. So I don't know. It's crazy. It's a crazy dynamic. I do pray for the people out there who are struggling out there today. We hope that it gets better for people out there, because it's tough.
And long story short, black people gonna keep dancing.
Yeah, we gonna keep dancing.
So you gonna hear fans popping. Yes. Where them fans at?
You best believe. And this ain't picking, because I go to church. I see at my church. Shout out to Next Level Church in Monroe County.
Next Level.
They be dancing.
Look, because we've never had time to sit and wallow in sorrow about woe is me. Because we've had to fight against a whole system that's against us, right?
Right.
But we don't have time to sit down and have this victim mentality. And the thing is, even when you tell your experiences that are true experiences that we have outlined in history, the same history you're trying to raise, people are, oh, y'all are victims. Why are you acting like a victim? I'm like, what? What? I'm always in awe to see generation upon generation of our people still surviving, knowing the history we come out of.
Yeah.
That in itself, that's a victor story. That's not a victim story. That's going to go on a t-shirt.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You need to trademark that. You need to trademark it.
Look, I have to save this video so I get my trademarks together.
Hold on. Before you upload.
Don't put that up there yet. And if I see y'all with it up there, we got it on video, so
it's on video. Well, that's going to wrap it up here on this episode here today, ladies and gentlemen. But
what had happened was...
Hey, she good on the button there.
Hey.
But stay tuned next week. We'll be back here in the studio next week to give you another exciting episode with me and Evelyn for sure. Shout out to everybody out there. Oh, we do have a sponsor.
Okay, I was just about to ask, we ain't shout out no sponsors today.
Shout out to my sponsors. Now, we all know spring is, kicking our butt with pollen, but summertime is almost here. Ladies and gentlemen, summertime is here. So today's sponsor is brought to you by Crunch Fitness. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my home gym.
Yeah.
Again, it is a gym without limits. It's a gym that, there's no judgments. There's no Judgments when it comes down to the trainers. Again, you guys can enroll today for $0. Again, enroll today.
That sounds good.
For $0. Again, this offer is up until the 31st of this month, so please do not miss it. You guys don't want to miss it, right?
No,
you got to get the
don't
summer
miss
body
it.
right?
Look,
Get your summer body right.
I was working on yesterday, and I posted a video on my IG story, and I was just like, look, I'm trying to get right because I'm trying to show y'all these thighs on the summer. I'm trying to let the wind blow across my stomach with my 2-piece.
Yes.
So
I heard it. I said it at the beginning. I'm hurting, but I'm over because I'm going to Punta Cana.
Okay.
So
I
got to get my summer body, but I can only do that at Crunch.
Okay.
Right. I mean, shout out to other gyms really, but Crunch is the one. But again, $0 to enroll. Again, if you just want to start off with a memberships is $10, y'all. Y'all pay that much in Netflix and Hulu and a sandwich.
A McDonald's meal.
Yes. Remember when McDonald's used to be like $5?
Sure.
Not no more.
You pay
$5 plus more.
$20.
$20.
McDonald's is a new Applebee's.
Yes,
2
it
for
is.
$20.
It is.
Except for it's only 1 for $20.
It is. So again, $10 to get your fitness started today. Join Crunch. I go to the one in Snellville personally, but join Crunch because you would not be disappointed. No judgments. You get expert trainers and high energy classes upon schedule. So guys, go check out Crunch today.
Yeah, and on that note, that is our episode of
What had happened was.
Yes, I'm your host, Evelyn Letitia, and to my left,
Of course,
we got my boy,
the swanky one,
the swanky one,
Kennedy
K.L.P.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll catch y'all in the next episode.
What had happened was.
Hey, ow.
What had happened was. What had happened was. What had happened was.
What happened was. I'll get my James Brown on.
Yeah.
What happened was.
What had happened was.
Woo! Hey, deuces.
Atlanta, live from K.L.P. Studios. Ever wonder what went down behind the scenes of our top stories?
Say what?
Then tune into What Had Happened Was, the only radio station that takes you straight to the source. From coast to coast, tune in now as we dive deep into the stories, the drama, and the moments that shape the culture with
The swanky one, new K.L.P.
and
With your girl, Evelyn Letitia.
live, Swanky 93.3 and the Heat 94.6 radio stations, or wherever you get your podcasts from.